Hello there, this is Kerry. I see that we have some people arrived already. That's wonderful. So just fill in the chat, where are you from, while we get settled and wait for the rest of the group to arrive. So you can just put that in the chat box. Where are you coming in from today? Well, good evening. Welcome to the Holistic Highways webinar, Change the Way You Age Forever. I'm Kerry, and I am thrilled to spend this next hour with you talking about how to change the way that you age forever. I'm also going to introduce you to a great workshop in October called European Women Don't Get Facelifts. So this next hour is packed with great content that you can use practically, and there's going to be a gift for you if you stay on the webinar with me. So as we're moving on. I just want to make this webinar really special for you. So just a few tips on how to increase your viewing pleasure. Just a couple of things to really help you get the most out of this webinar. First off, I'm going to encourage you to turn off everything that's operating in the background. That includes any email system, so you're not also checking on email, you're not multitasking with me, Skype, iTunes, any extra programs that you may be running. And also, just let's turn off our cell phones. I've turned mine off too. Close your door. Give yourself this time to discover some new strategies on anti-aging. So allow yourself this next hour with me. It's just for you. And I do appreciate you spending this time with me. So a little bit on how this webinar is going to work. You are muted. So if you've been talking, hoping that I would hear you, no, I can't. And we are recording this webinar. So just to let you know, though, that none of this information is going to appear in the final webinar, or none of your personal information will. There will be a recording link, and that will be provided to you automatically. You should see it in an email either tonight or tomorrow. So let me ask you, or tell me, have you noticed any signs of aging? And you can write just in the chat box. You'll see it on the right hand side. I see that you're already beginning to chat. So noticed any signs of aging? Just put your answer in the chat. That's either a yes, no, I feel great, I'm seeing yes, yes, I've got a definitely. Sally says, oh yes. Great. Terry says, more every day. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Kathy says, yes, for sure. I've turned into my mother. Okay. And This one's funny. Everything's drooped. So, yep. So an overwhelming yes. Also tell me, are you happy with what you see? Also, you can write that in the chat box. Are you happy with what you see? Okay, there's a little bit of a delay of you coming back to me, but I'm beginning to get them in now. So I've got no. I try not to look, okay? No, I avoid thinking about it. That's what wine is for, okay? Thank you, Michelle. I hate what I see, mostly no's. So we see the signs that we've aged, and it looks like we don't really like it. So you are in the right place. Let's just make sure that this webinar is right for you, because you are giving up an hour of your time. I know you're really busy, so I do appreciate you signing up with me tonight. So let's just make sure that this webinar is right for you. So you are in the right place if you've assessed gravity and other yucky things, and you're not really keen on what you see. You are also in the right place if you want to understand what makes you really healthy and vibrant. And also if you want to feel sexy and sensual. You're also in the right place if you want an anti-aging diet, not a weight loss diet. And if you want to look gorgeous at any age. And you are also in the right place if you want tips on how to juggle life, love, and work. But the reality is there are 3 real aging fears that I hear time and time again. The first one is, I have lost my looks. A lot of people worry that they just don't look good anymore and then feel guilty for seemingly acting so shallow. But we want and need to look good. And I'm going to show you how on this webinar. Here's another one that I get from people. I just can't seem to lose this extra weight. I would say that probably 80% of my clients tell me that this is something that they want to work on, even if it's not the major complaint that brought them in to see me in the first place. This is actually one of the easiest fixes, and I'll show you with my 5-day anti-aging food program how you can do this. And by the way, by staying through to the end of the webinar with me, I will give away this 5-day anti-aging diet, which is part of my anti-aging program. And here's the next one I get. I am just so tired these days. Fatigue probably is one of the top 5 complaints in all women, and it doesn't matter their age, both young and old. I have a lot of young girls coming to see me who are really fatigued. And a lot of this has to do with lifestyle, and we'll talk about that later on in the webinar. So what do you think? Do you relate to any of these 3? If you do, then just put the number down next to it. If you feel a little bit that you've lost your looks, put down number 1. If you feel that you can't lose weight, put down number 2. And if you feel that, you're pretty fatigued, then put down number 3 in the chat box, just to get an idea of where we are, where everybody is. So a 1 and a 2, another 2. Okay, so wait, a 2, a 2. Tired, here we go. The fatigues are coming in. 3. Another 1. Okay, so we're pretty much across the board here. So sort of between 1, 2, and 3 here. Well, I just want to show you a little bit about how the anti-aging regime worked for me. Here's just some pictures of me. And I never used to feel so vibrant and feel so healthy. In fact, I no longer have some of the things that used to plague me, like inflammation, achy joints, migraines. I used to get hot sweats at night, digestive issues, and irritability. So clearly I'm looking vibrant and healthy, and I'm feeling it too. So just wanted to give you some pictures of me and say, hi, who am I? Since I was able to make such a change with me, I actually became pretty obsessed with aging, and not just with aging, but with aging vibrantly. And I looked around and saw that as people approached middle age, and I'm 56 and look every inch 56, but it's good to have a lot of vitality about you. And when I looked at a lot of people, they'd lost that spark. They'd lost that sense of vitality, that sort of get up and go that says, I've got a sparkle in my eye and my skin's glowing. So I wanted to find what happened. What was wrong here? How could we fix this? How could we change this? So I started offering some of the techniques that I used and strategies to my clients, and they started seeing results. And here's what Leanne said. She's in Pittsburgh, and she said, having finished my first month, I'm feeling great, and my skin has cleared back up. Now, Leanne had adult onset acne, a lot of it. At this point, she says, the only thing that makes sense to me is continue on as I've been doing for the past month. I can't thank you enough for your help. And her skin did clear up, and that made such a huge difference to her. So as we probably know, anti-aging products do not work solely on their own. How many of us have dropped a fair amount of money on the latest anti-aging cream or something that we think is going to make such a big difference? But really, to get good results, you have to look at an anti-aging regime. It is not just one thing. So this is how we're going to change the way that you age forever. We are on this webinar going to look at a 7-phase complete anti-aging system for you. It's a connected approach, and this is what makes a big difference. So here's where we are normally. Here's when we have no system to anti-aging. So we know anti-aging is important. We know we want some kind of anti-aging regime. So what do? We throw darts at it, a bit like, yeah, we'll throw darts at a dartboard and hope something stick. So we wake up one morning and think, there's a few wrinkles here. I know I'm going to drop a couple of $100 on some great skincare, and that's going to make a difference. And we do that for a while, and and then we look in the mirror one day and we think, it's a little bit of gravity going on here. I know I'm going to join the gym. And we go to the gym for a while. And then, life gets in the way and we get busy, so we don't carry that on. And then we think, I want to feel sexy, and I just don't feel quite as sexy as I used to. So I'm going to work in that area and see what I can do. I'm going to wear clothes and brighten myself up a bit that make me feel a little bit more sexy. And we do that for a little while, and that falls off the radar too. So as you can see, we sort of jab at these different things in the hopes that something will work. So let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many times have you bought something to help with aging? So 1 meaning that you have never bought anything, and 10 meaning you buy quite a lot of it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let me see where we are on here. Here's a 7, an 8, okay. A 10, okay, a 9, all right, a 5, great. Okay, so we're seeing some different numbers coming in. Another 7, takes a little while for your numbers to get to me. And an 8 and a 9. So clearly, yep, we are buying some things to help with aging. So here's a systems approach, and this is the one that works. So we still have our anti-aging regime, but we have all these things as part of that anti-aging regime. So for example, if we want to juggle life, that means balance, doesn't it? And if we're not juggling life very well, we're probably pretty stressed. So we know we should be a little bit more in balance. So, but we have that as part of our anti-aging regime. If we want to savor food, we have that food as part of our anti-aging regime. So we eat the foods that are right for us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later on, about which ones are right. We have moving joyously, or having exercise, or being supple and limber as part of our anti-aging regime. So then it all works together as a system. So what you're going to discover with me in this next hour then is the 7 strategies that you can start employing that will work right now. So imagine that feeling then of having an aging system that actually works. So here's our first one. And our first one is, you are never too old to age gracefully. Now, my mother-in-law is nearing 90. But she still likes to drive. She lives on Cape Cod, and she uses her riding mower. She gets on that every week. Behind the wheel of a Honda Accord, she's made her way through the streets of Boston to meet me for dinner and drinks. Now, Eileen has driven across the States a couple of summers ago with her husband, Bob, who's a little bit older at 91, because they wanted to see the redwoods and visit friends. Now, I prefer to leave lawn mowing and heavy city traffic to others, but I know that when I'm my mother-in-law's age, I want to be as active as she is. Now, Eileen and I are very different in many ways, yet she is a role model for living fully because she has that sort of sense of joy and adventure. From her, I have learned the importance of exercise and taking care of my body so that I can spend my later years doing what I like instead of reacting from one health crisis to another. So you want to know what my formula for later years is? Happy, healthy, and dead. So you are not doomed to spend your last months with an oxygen cannula up your nose. You can rewrite that story. But what I have noticed with my clients at UPMC Center for Integrative Health is that there are more and more concerns that have to do with how we look. And it's not hard to work out why, is it? Because there's books, magazines, TV programs that seem to be increasingly obsessed with how we present ourselves to the world. So here's what Margie said when she came in to see me. She came in and she said, every morning when I get up, I dread looking in the mirror and seeing my face. If I manage to avoid the mirror, I don't feel I'm any older than when I was in my 20s. But as soon as I look, I see a 58-year-old going on 90. When everyone else is away, I cover the mirror so I won't see myself first thing in the morning. I know this is a bit odd, but what can I do about it? Well, it's easy, isn't it, as we get older to hanker after a time in our lives when we imagined that we looked effortlessly lovely. As you know, by looking at old pictures of yourself, this is most certainly not the case. So it's important to forget about the past and concentrate on the world as it is and not as it was. Accentuating the positive really is the only way, the only course of action to take. And it won't just make us happier, but it makes us healthier too. So for a start, let's think of all those firsts we'll never have to go through again. Just imagine having to sit for all those exams again, taking your driving test again, having your first period again. Thank goodness that's all behind us. But let's focus on the face, as my client obviously was. And I'm reminded of a favorite story called Stranger in My House. And you may have heard this. I think this is lovely. And it goes like this. A very weird thing has happened. A strange old lady has moved into my house. I have no idea who she is, where she came from, or how she got in. I certainly didn't invite her. All I know is that one day she wasn't there, and the next day she was. She's a clever old lady and manages to keep out of sight for the most part. But whenever I pass a mirror, I catch a glimpse of her, and whenever I look in the mirror to check on my face, there she is, hogging the whole thing, completely obliterating my gorgeous face and body. This is very rude. Now, I actually think this is hilarious. But, you know, it's true that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So the first beholder who needs to see you as beautiful is yourself. Once you can do that, then you are no longer dependent on others to make you feel good. The magic of this is as soon as you see yourself as beautiful, so do others. It's infectious, and it's got nothing to do with how you look in relation to any kind of stereotype out there. All our lives, we've known someone who's taller, younger, prettier, fatter, thinner, or with glossier hair than our own. And this can drive us mad and get us nowhere. So I have a little exercise for you to write down, to do later, not right now. And it's an exercise in photo gazing. So what I want you to do is to gather together some photos of yourself at different ages, ideally sort of every 5 years, and take a look at how you looked at different stages in your life. What did your face look like? Did all your haircuts suit you? Did you have acne at some point? What about your hair color and your makeup? Which colors and styles suited you the most? Make a list of 3 good points and 3 not so special ones for each decade up to the present, and focus on even the smallest features, such as you have beautiful teeth or you've got incredibly long eyelashes. Take note that even when you were much younger, you had bits you didn't like, didn't you? Now let's get rid of that list. You won't need it anymore. And then I want you to focus on your list of great points. which can be used whenever you feel low in confidence or having a bad headache. And don't feel ashamed about keeping that list in your purse so that you can refer to it whenever you need to know that you're just doing all right that day. Our second strategy is you are never too old to use the healing power within. Now, many of us have been brought up to believe that when we get to a certain age, and certainly well before we're 60, we'll start to fall apart. Our bodies will become prone to aches and pains, our agility hampered, our minds will lose their edge. Physically and mentally, it's going to be downhill all the way, baby. How depressing. And here's what Dana said to me when she came in to see me. She said, I've just had my 50th birthday, and every time I read a newspaper or magazine, articles jump out at me about all the health problems that can happen to the over 50s. I've convinced myself that I'm going to lose my memory, get Alzheimer's, have dementia, a weak bladder, a face like a prune, brown age spots all over, get osteoporosis, lose interest in sex, put on weight around my middle, and all before I reach 60. What can I do, and what do I need to eat to keep myself healthy and fit? Now, our own care and knowledge, together with sort of medical science and the wonderful technologies in medical science, means that most of us are going to live longer than the previous generation. That also means we're asking our bodies to work longer. Lifespan projections have changed, haven't they? It's no longer 70 years and 10. So what do we do to remain youthful and full of vitality, as Dana obviously wanted to know? Well, first off, it comes down to nutrition. An anti-aging diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. That's why I'm going to give you my 5-day plan, which can revolutionize our battle with wrinkles, sags, and bags. And after seeing how changes in diet improve the looks and energy levels in my clients, I became convinced that the most effective way to turn back the years was simply to change what we ate. Now, my 5-day plan, which I'm going to give you for being on this webinar, is part of my new 7-day Ageless program. So let's briefly look at the 5 most aging processes. These are what I call the 5 aging accelerators. I'm just going to stop and have a quick drink of water. So sorry if I'm gurgling. So the first one, our first aging accelerator, is actually sluggish digestion. Now, a well-functioning digestive system is central to the anti-aging process. But when the gut becomes sluggish, then the body does not absorb nutrients very well. So our skin, our hair, our nails, muscles, and bones become undernourished, and you start to look and feel older. So it's important, isn't it, to have a well-functioning digestive system. And my anti-aging diet that I'm going to give you shows you how. The next age accelerator is actually inflammation. And this is normal. This is our fast, natural reaction to injury, allergy, or infection. So as soon as, for example, we get a splinter and it pierces our skin, then the inflammatory response kicks in to protect us. As we age, this response can become overreactive. This is then going to leave activated immune cells circulating in our body. Now, scientists have coined this word inflammaging to describe this state of chronic low-level inflammation. And this low-level inflammation can take a real heavy toll on the body, causes infections, allergies, loss of skin quality. And the immune system starts in the gut. So if it's inflamed, and signs that it's inflamed are gas, bloating, loose stools, and tenderness, then your immunity is compromised. So you'll need to stay away from foods that cause bloating or make your eyes or nose runs. These are inflammatory responses. Classic inflammatory foods, that's red meat, sugar, white flour, and some dairy products. Our next big aging accelerator is oxidation. Now, every cell in the body needs oxygen, but oxygen is highly reactive and is always looking to combine with other molecules. When it does, it produces an unstable atom called a free radical. Now, our bodies have evolved many different ways to manage stress, but when we are also exposed to high levels of external toxins such as alcohol, stress, sunlight, chemicals in our food and cleaning products, then it adds to the load that we have to process. And then that's going to increase the number of free radicals. So an anti-aging diet will show you which foods are best to counteract oxidation. Our next big age accelerator is hormonal imbalance. So when you are hormonally imbalanced, your body is on an aging roller coaster. For example, an imbalance of stress hormones can cause wrinkles, abdominal fat gain, sleep disruption, anxiety, mood swings, allergies, headaches, susceptibility to infection, muscle weakness, sugar cravings and alcohol cravings, gas, and loss of libido. So a great key hormone balancer is pumpkin seeds. So tomorrow you want to buy yourself a bag of pumpkin seeds and start munching on them. Really good for you for hormones. Our next key aging accelerator is acidification. So when we eat too many acid-producing foods, and these are things like meat, coffee, cheese, cereal, sugary drinks and snacks, the resulting long-term acid overload is called acidification. And this then makes us susceptible to the aging process. That leads to fatigue, depression, mental fog. I have many, many clients who come and see me and say they just can't think straight. They're in like a cloud of fog, weight gain, and diabetes. So by eating an anti-aging diet, you will be reversing the signs of aging. So stay on the webinar with me and I will make sure that you receive your 5-day anti-aging plan. Now, this is from Pat in Mechanicsburg, and Pat said, I've been told recently that I look wonderful, vibrant, and healthy. I do feel much better and healthier. Thank you for your help. So Pat did really well on this program too. So our third anti-aging strategy is you are never too old to feel sexy and sensual. And it often strikes me when I'm out and about how many sort of 50-plus couples walk hand in hand down the street. How it isn't only the young who are demonstrative in public. Having said that, I have many friends who are trying to embark upon new relationships or rekindle older ones, and that's never a pushover, is it? So this is what Rachel talked about when she came in to see me. She said, I'm going through menopause, and I don't think my body any longer works in the way it once did. I've lost interest in sex. I'm no longer aroused by my partner. In truth, I never find myself sexually stimulated. I know that my partner still wants to have sex. I find myself making excuses to avoid rejecting him by going to bed early or pretending to be asleep. Now I worry that he's going to go for a younger model. What can I do and how do I rekindle my interest in sex? I told Rachel that I didn't want to diminish her physical symptoms. We would work with that, but I did want to start with the mind. Now, I remember a lover many years ago telling me, lover, start with my head and work down. The brain is the most powerful sexual organ in our body. The hypothalamus responds to sexual stimulation, and the cerebral cortex allows us to have sexy thoughts. If that isn't stimulated, you will not feel sexy. So in order to feel sexy, we have to feel comfortable in our bodies too. If we look in the mirror and see something we don't like, rolls of fat or a wrinkled face, the last thing we want is someone looking at us or touching us. So looking after your appearance is essential if you're going to feel sexy. This is the same for your partner too. If they're sagging all over the place or have a large paunch, it just may not do it for you. And there is nothing to say that passion dwindles as we age. There is no evidence, there are no studies to support that. However, there are things you can do to increase your libido apart from creating a warm, sexy environment. So try taking a shower or bath together, or massaging each other with sweet oils. Try making love somewhere different in the house or at a different time. And always ensure that you have enough time to touch and stroke each other first, rather than rushing headlong towards that orgasm. Talking of orgasms, don't make that your goal. It's fine just to enjoy each other's bodies. You don't have to have intercourse to feel intimate. If you have a fear that sex will be painful because you're less lubricated than you used to be, then my technique for you is to try using coconut oil. It's much like our own lubrication, so it's really nice to use. It'll make a huge difference, trust me. And there is nothing worse than finding you can't get into a position you used to because your body has become less supple. So never forget to have a laugh if things don't go according to plan. Good sex, after all, is about having good fun too. And you are never too old to savor the pleasure of food. And I want to talk about the non-diet anti-aging nutritional plan and how many of us are constantly dieting or saying, well, I can only have a small piece of chocolate or a small piece of this because it's bad for me. Food is pleasurable. Eating is pleasurable. We're hot-wired to enjoy food. And on top of that, most of our celebrations and socializing are around food and drink. So let's thoroughly enjoy food. Now, we can also use food as medicine too, and I do that a lot. So I'm going to give you some examples here. If you're looking to detoxify, then beets, or in England we say beetroot, beets are your friend. They're a daily age-defying vitamin and mineral feast. They're packed with folic acid, iron, fiber, calcium, magnesium, manganese. The list goes on, all kinds of vitamin goodies. It's a great food, so I really encourage you to get some. Chop them up, put them in your salads, cook them, eat them that way. It doesn't matter, but they're a great detoxifier. Now, we've also talked about an anti-inflammatory diet. It is also an anti-aging diet. And the best anti-inflammatory food is actually turmeric. So aim for a teaspoon of dried turmeric every day. This we can find at the local Giant store. Turmeric is probably part of the spices you already have in your kitchen. Add every day to juices, scrambled eggs, stir fries. I put mine in rice before or during cooking. Be careful though with turmeric because it will stain your hands and clothes. And we all need antioxidants, which are extremely age-defying foods. So want to know a great antioxidant? Red beets. Their skins are rich in flavonoids and other compounds, they're going to pack a big antioxidant punch. And what they also do is they reduce digestive slowdown and reduce that inflammation. And to get those hormones stable, which are often not in balance because of the incredibly stressful lives we lead. So I'm not just talking about female hormones because of menopause, I'm talking about stress hormones. So your best hormone balancer is garlic. Now, who would have thought it? It contains vitamin B6, which helps with serotonin production, and that corrects high cortisol levels, which is a frequent cause of night waking. Garlic is also a source of phytoestrogens, which mimic the action of estrogen, so it can help perimenopausal and menopausal women. And it also helps regulate blood sugar levels. So aim to eat a clove a day. So garlic is great. And lastly, we know that a more alkaline diet is an anti-aging diet. Your best alkalizer, that's lemon. So for a powerful alkalizing start to your day, drink lemon juice in warm water. It flushes away the liver's byproducts. I always have my clients start their day with a simple drink as it gently detoxifies too. It also gently hydrates the digestive system, so that's really nice. Warning though, use a straw so that the acid doesn't harm tooth enamel. And here's what Kathy from New Cumberland said. She goes, I have never felt so good. Just feels fabulous. For the first time in years, I feel I'm in control of what I'm eating. It's a lot easier than I first thought. Kathy was really worried when she first started with me. She didn't want to be on a diet. And it took her a while to realize I was not going to put her on her diet. And she actually found it much, much easier than she thought it was going to be. She thought she was going to have a problem about the food. So I want to give you your first anti-aging tip here, and I want you to drink warm water every morning. As I said, this gently hydrates. You can put some lemon juice in it. You can also put lime juice. So if you're a person that tends to get pretty heated, you tend to throw off the covers at night, or you're having hot flashes at night or night sweats, then you need to put lime in your water because lime is cooling, whereas lemon is heating. And you are never too old to look gorgeous. So skincare in a new face, what does that start with? It does start with diet and weight, mainly diet. But it's interesting how we equate, or many of my clients equate, looking gorgeous with being slim as women. Lots of women talk to me about how invariably they want to lose a few pounds. Now, I am not a diet fanatic. I actually don't believe in diets. But I do believe that if we ate for our particular metabolic type, then we are going to look healthy and vibrant. And that leads to gorgeous. So let's talk about weight. This is what Jessie said when she came into me for a consultation. I've got a frog in my throat as I'm doing this webinar, so excuse me. She said, "My son commented the other day on my weight, which has certainly gone up a bit since menopause. He said, I used to be slim for my age. I know I need to lose a few pounds, but I felt grim both about my weight and the fact that my son sees my weight in relation to age. Is that what happens? Am I just now seen for my age and not for how I look?" Now, it does seem that what Jesse's son was doing was linking weight to age, doesn't it? He clearly saw an average weight for a 20-year-old, another for a 40-year-old, and another for a 60-year-old, and so on. And that just isn't true. So let's talk about weight. Although it should never be a time-consuming feature of your life, there are many reasons why weight is a problem. And there's a whole host of books that have been written on the subject. So what is it that makes us worry more at this stage in our lives? Is it because it isn't pretty to have bumps and bulges? Or is it because it's unhealthy? Or is it a combination of the two? In other words, does fat equal old? Well, being fat and unfit is aging. There's no denying that. Fat people move more slowly. They are less agile. They huff and puff when they get out of a chair. They can't run for a bus. In no way do they project youthfulness. So being slim and fit can take years off us. But a word of warning here, being slim and fit, I also mean being appropriate for your body. I have also got a lot of clients who are skinny and drawn. There's a new phrase right now called skinny fat, where actually these people are very skinny. They are not receiving a lot of nutrition, and this is certainly in no way a youthful look either. So what I'm trying to talk about is this is nothing to do with size per se. It's to do with being the right shape and size for your body. So are you overweight, or is it that your shape has changed over the years? Both can be rectified. If you can get your weight to where it's healthy, and my 5-day anti-aging diet can help you there. And if you get your head to an understanding of how lovely you are, you won't even notice the next time anyone makes a critical comment, for the simple reason there won't be a next time. And this is Beth. Beth said, "Hi, I'm having another amazing week. I feel so happy and uplifted. I put makeup on for the first time in a long time on Monday. I looked into the mirror and actually told myself that I looked beautiful. I have never done that." Now, there was a lot going on with Beth. She had gone through a horrible personal tragedy and had just given up on herself. But after being on the program for a little while, she actually then started seeing herself differently. And she wanted to play that up. She wanted to show that up. She started feeling beautiful again. And it was heartwarming to see. It was great. So you are never too old to juggle life, loving, living, and working. Now, many of us have spent our 30s and 40s running to keep up. Now we're the ones often still keeping an eye on the children, managing the house, and caring for elderly relatives. So the big question is, how do we juggle the demands of our lives without being overwhelmed by everybody else's demands? The following heartfelt question is one that I got from Lisa. And Lisa said, "My husband is getting very fed up with me as I feel I have to spend a lot of my free time with my elderly father who's lonely and not that well. I can see this is having an adverse effect on my marriage, and neither is it great for my kids. I just don't know how to juggle things." And I said to Lisa, welcome to the sandwich generation. I think that what Lisa is talking about is feeling like the filling in the middle. This is yet another new phenomenon that is happening to many of us. So if you had children when you were in your 30s or even early 40s, you will have school-aged children at the same time as elderly parents. who may need your support, care, and your attention. You're going to be sandwiched between those two demands. Even if your children are older, many of them are struggling financially and have returned home because they've run up debt or can't afford the rent or can't get into the job market. They're the new boomerang generation who are finding it difficult to manage economically on their own. So parents are finding themselves having to subsidize accommodation and support their grown-up children. So we have to juggle, don't we? How do we handle it when we have to take a parent to a hospital appointment, get to a school sports day, while also meeting our business commitments? It's tricky, but it's got to be tackled. So you have to get your life in balance. You can't get balanced if you are rushing around, taking care of everything and everyone, and then falling into bed exhausted each night. This kind of lifestyle will lead to adrenal fatigue, and I have many clients who come and see me because they have exhausted their hormonal systems. They can't sleep well, they have poor digestion, they feel irritable. That's no way to live and stay youthful. Stress causes inflammation. Inflammation equals aging rapidly. So I want you to take just 10 minutes a day for you. Now, I hear you say, I'm not sure I can do that. Well, then you're not going to like what I'm going to say next, which is 10 minutes is just the start. I do want you to work up to about half an hour or more if you can. I know this is hard. We're the last to take care of ourselves, but self-care is not selfish. It's a necessity. So whether you want to go for a walk, take a long bubble bath, or go to a meditation class, you have to find time for you. You can't help others until you are balanced yourself. So anti-aging tip number 2, find time for you so that you can then be there for others. Just 10 minutes a day is a great start. And our 7th anti-aging strategy, you are never too old to move joyously. Once a day, a little invisible exercise. So here's what Karen said to me. She said, I've never been that interested in exercise, and yet I'm continuously told that the older you get, the more important it is. I do know that I'm not as fit as I could be. I joined the gym last January and promised myself I'd go. I wasted a lot of money. I know I should change my habits, but how do I do this? Well, exercise is good for you, but don't just take my word for it. There are a boatload of studies that say participation in regular, moderate exercise can delay decline. Postmenopausal women definitely need to be exercising just to preserve bone density and muscle function. So what does exercise do for us? Well, it's good for our bodies, our minds, our social well-being. Physiologically, in the short term, it regulates our blood glucose levels, reduces the likelihood of diabetes, stimulates production of endorphins, which combat stress. It improves the quality and quantity of sleep, improves our blood lipid profile so that cholesterol levels are reduced, along with the risk of heart attacks. Long term, what does exercise do? Well, long term, it improves cardiovascular functioning, improves muscle strength, helping you to maintain your shape, increases suppleness and flexibility to help you with stamina, balance, and coordination. What this then does is reduce the incidence of falls. It reduces arthritis and achy joints because it improves bone density, and it also reduces the likelihood of colon cancer. Wow. So if I was to say to you, I want you to do something for just 10 minutes a day, and it's going to give you all those benefits, you'd be lining up at my door for it, especially if I put it in pill form, huh? But what if you don't like exercise, like Karen? Then I'm going to say try something that is not exercise per se. So try dance, yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi. Some of the martial arts are great fun. Swimming, walking, and biking are all great if that's your thing. And if you have a dog, then there is no excuse. Your dog's going to love you. It might be that you just need to put a little bit more effort into everyday things like cleaning the house. Stretch further, do it more vigorously. Doing laundry, reach, fold, bend over more. Stand on one leg whilst doing the dishes. It helps with balance. And if you do these regularly, then you'll soon see the benefits. Some other things: walking, gardening, using the stairs instead of an elevator, cycling to the store for some milk, dancing to the radio. Activities with the grandchildren are great, using frisbees, kites, and balls, even just a walk around the park. Even more frequent sex works here. So set up a routine, a habit. Don't set an unrealistic goal like, oh, I'm going to go swimming 5 times this week. Start small. It takes 20 minutes to, sorry, not 20 minutes. It takes 20 times to change a habit. So just taking the dog for a walk once is not going to really help, although he's going to love it. So for example, walk just twice this week and twice next week. And soon you'll be doing it without thinking, and that's how habits are born. So what do you think? Do these things kind of make sense to you? And here's my anti-aging tip number 3. Just stretch for 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be anything vigorous. It doesn't have to be a program. It doesn't have to be anything you go to the gym for. It can just be some gentle stretching when you get up in the morning for just 10 minutes. It is going to make such a huge difference for you. So I'm going to remind you why you showed up today. We talked about aging, and did we like how we see ourselves as we age? And we said we didn't particularly like aging. We didn't particularly like what we saw. So I'm going to suggest that an anti-aging regime is right for you. It's time for you to do this, to employ some kind of anti-aging strategy so that we don't age as we get older. It really is your time to do this. Now remember, nothing I've shared with you today is theory. I've used every single one of these strategies to create this sort of great anti-aging regime that I've seen work so well on my clients and with me. Now, I'm not extra special. I don't have access to exclusive resorts like spas or cosmetic surgeries. I just have a system that works. And if I can do this, then you can do this too. So want to know how to feel better without having to resort to surgery? Then I want to introduce you to my workshop that's coming up October the 10th called European Women Don't Get Facelifts. This is a great workshop, and what it is, it's going to be a complete A to Z blueprint for creating a personalized anti-aging regime that reduces weight, builds strength, and gives you the tools for a glowing skin, and gives you a toolbox so that you can age really vibrantly. So here's what you get at the day-long workshop. It's my signature anti-aging program that includes an anti-aging diet, the best natural skincare regime for a glowing skin, an easy exercise routine that takes just 10 minutes a day, that's all, plus a delicious, nutritious anti-aging lunch, all healthy snacks and drinks, and we're going to have a lot of fun here too. What you'll leave with is a toolbox packed with an anti-aging program that's right for you. So you don't have to resort to surgical procedures, invasive needles. Sounds good, doesn't it? And here's what Katie said. Katie said, I think what you're doing is amazing because it's 100% positive and enables people to improve their lives. It doesn't get any better than that. And it doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. To be able to offer something that's so simple that makes such a big difference and see such a huge difference, it really doesn't get any better than that. So, some of what we will cover in the workshop. We'll cover, finally, the diet that's right for me. I had a client who came in one day and she goes to me, I'm eating really well, really healthy. I have a salad at every meal outside of breakfast, but I am not feeling great. So you may be eating very healthy foods, but you may not be eating the foods that are right for you. So with this client who was very thin, undernourished, and very dried out and had premature aging, she needed to cook all her vegetables. By adding dry, raw vegetables was increasing that dryness in her. She was also incredibly constipated, so we changed her diet and it made such a difference for her. So I want you to have the diet that is right for you, that's healthy for you. So what can I do about gravity? Well, we'll look at that. We'll assess that and see what we can do about that. We'll also look at how to feel sexy and sensual, no matter what age we are. We'll look at a skincare regime for you. We'll design a skincare regime that you can make at the workshop that you'll take home with you that's right for your skin type. Because in the same way as there's no diet that suits all, there's no one skincare regime that suits all too. And that's as unique as it is your nutrition. And we'll look at exercise. Must I? Yes, but there are much easier ways to exercise than pounding it out on a treadmill. So here is what you will get. You will get a skincare regime for your metabolic type. You will also get a questionnaire to determine what your metabolic type is. And then that's like having a blueprint. Once you have that blueprint, then we know the right foods, we know the right skincare, we know the right exercise for you. You will also receive a nutritional program for your metabolic type that's anti-aging in just the ways we talked about, anti-inflammatory, antioxidative. And we'll look at daily routines that are right for you too. What time you go to bed, what time you get up, when is the best time for you to do projects, when is the best time for you to actually sleep, should you be napping or is that not a good thing for you, when is the best time for you to have your biggest meal of the day, and are you a person who actually needs to have breakfast? There are some of us who get up in the morning and actually feel nauseous at the thought of food first thing. But yet we're told we should always eat a healthy, nutritious breakfast. Not for some of us. That actually doesn't work. And you will also receive my 7-day anti-aging plan. And that's where we put everything together. We make it personalized and customized for you. And that's your toolbox that you'll have forever, that you'll be able to dip into whenever you need something. So European Women Don't Get Facelifts is the workshop. It's how to age with style and attitude. So ready to create this, ready to do this? Then the question you're probably asking is, okay, Kerry, yeah, sounds great, but how much is it going to cost me? It is up at Nemacolin after all. Well, the investment normally is $275 for this one-day workshop. But because you're on the webinar with me, I can reduce that to $225 instead of $275. You will have to book that up within the next 48 hours, though, to get that reduced price. The website that you can go to is www.theholistichighway.com. But I'm also going to pull up a special button for you. I think I'm going to pull it up. I'm trying to pull it up. You should be seeing that in your chat box right now. And this is a special offer for you that you can register for this workshop if you would like to. So European Women Don't Get Facelifts. It is up for the next 40 hours at the more reduced price. You can either go to that website directly or you can click the register button right here. So $225 for you instead of $275 for the whole day, where we'll go through all those things we talked about in a much more intensive way. You'll come out of it with that toolbox that's just right for you. But I am really excited to do something today that I don't normally do. I want to give away to you my free anti-aging diet. So I'm actually going to bring up another offer for you that you can register for. I think I have to remove the first offer to do it. So just want to bring it down for you, if you will bear with me. So that you can pick this up whenever you need to. I have to pull it up. So bear with me. Here we go. So you should be seeing this now, the 5-day anti-aging diet. So you can click on that and you will be able to register for it. It'll take you to my website. You'll have a registration page there, and then you can pick up that 5-day anti-aging diet straight away. So it is my way of saying thank you. for being my special guest here today and for staying with me through the whole webinar. I really appreciate that. This has been an hour of your time. Your time is very valuable. I do understand that. So the fact that you stayed with me, I really appreciate that. So I want you to have this. And this is just a picture of the first day one. We go through a sluggish digestion. You can go through it. You'll find it a lot of fun. So I created this workshop because my clients were telling me these things. They were telling me, I seem to have lost my looks. I don't feel sexy anymore. I'm just so tired. I'm juggling my family, aging parents, and work, and I can't seem to lose weight like I used to. So I did it. I used all those techniques in a much more intensive way, created that 7-day anti-aging program. I looked at my diet, which was huge, looked at all those other areas, including skincare, and I did it. These people did it too. So Marcy said, by the third day of the anti-aging diet, my mood and energy were incredible. Since then, I've been able to make positive changes in my life. I've also noticed that my allergies are almost non-existent this year. So remember, this isn't just about looking good. That's almost a byproduct. You are going to look phenomenal because you're going to be really healthy. So a lot of my clients talk about their health issues as clearing up. Jay said, with all the benefits I've seen from eating this way and doing my morning routine, there is no way I can justify going back to the way things were. And Jackie says, I am sleeping like a baby. I actually feel rested when I wake up. No heartburn. My legs are rarely bothering me at night. Jackie did have restless leg syndrome. And get this one, she says, I completely kicked the Coca-Cola. Last Friday was the last time I had any, and for the first time, I do not miss it. A cup of warm lemon water is now what I look forward to when I wake up in the morning. So she did great. Now, Jackie was one of those that had the adrenal fatigue, so she was looking for the stimulation or that sugar and caffeine to give her some so-called energy. So yeah, that was great that she came off that. So if they did it, you can too. You can feel absolutely fantastic, which is going to show in how you look as well. So I do want you to go ahead and register because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a blast for the day. I want you to come and enjoy receiving the tools that you're going to get. Nemacolin is a wonderful place to be. It's a great place to go for a workshop. So I do want you to have that. So I want you to pick up the 5-day anti-aging diet. If you don't pick it up here and you haven't clicked sign me up, you can always go to my website. You will see it there. I also want to bring in the other offer for you and go back so that you can sign up for European Women Don't Get Facelifts. So I want to do that as well for you. So coming all the way back around, we're getting close to being out of time. So I want to spend some time looking at questions that you may have. There is a little bit of a delay for me to get back to you and you to get back to me. So if you're typing me out a question, it may take a little while for me to get it. But let's have a look at, or if you have any questions, then let's go through those questions right now. And I will wait to see. And I have my first one. Yep, can you give me the date and time of the workshop? So yeah, the date and the time of the workshop, it's October the 10th from 9 to 4:30. Let me go back to the right page for you, and then you will be able to see it, hopefully. If I ever get back to the right page. That's not it either. I can't find the right page, but it is October the 10th from 9 to 4:30. Yeah. Okay, here's another question. If I wanted to stay at Nemacolin the night before and make it a mini vacation. Can I do that? Of course, that's a great idea. In fact, that would be a lot of fun. That's what I'm intending to do. So just call up reservations and tell them you're coming in for the European Women Don't Get Facelifts workshop, and they will set you all up. So yeah, no problem there. Any other questions? I'm interested in the workshop. Will we make our own skincare? Yes, we will. Yes, we will, Lisa. We'll make a wonderful, nourishing anti-aging serum that's right for your skin type. So yeah, we will have fun with that. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the information. Great information. Thank you. That's nice. What exactly is the 7-day anti-aging regime? Oh, great question. You've got some good questions here. That's the culmination of the whole day. So it's where we get to put it all together. That anti-aging 7-day regime will have all those 7 points in it. So it's going to be the right exercise for you. It's going to be the right foods, the right nutritional program for you, the right daily routines, even the right time for you to sleep and wake. So it's completely fully filled toolbox for you to take home and implement. So still looking at questions that are coming in. Oh, yep, here's a great question. I'm one of those that's juggling everything. Don't just tell me to meditate because I can't. Okay, I won't. And of course you can't. No. So for you to get that quiet space, that sort of calming that central nervous system, you'll need to move because you're probably in such a place that you can't slow down yet. So perhaps a walk in nature or walk through the park. This will really ground you and calm that central nervous system. I agree, you're probably way too stressed to just sit quietly at this point. Absolutely, yeah. All right, I think we're sort of dwindling down as far as questions. So it does look like we are out of time. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I do hope you enjoy your 5-day anti-aging diet. I'd love to hear from you and see how it works with you. So feel free to email me or call me. I love to chat about what I do. And I will be sending the webinar link out to you very, very shortly. Either you will get it today or tomorrow. And I just want to put in pop in again, your special offer so that you can sign up for that. So if you have any questions, just contact me. You've come onto my website to register, so that's wonderful. I'm available to just chat about what I do, to chat about where you are, to chat about this workshop that's coming up or any of the other workshops that I'm doing that are coming up. But I want to thank you so much for spending an hour of your time with me. I really do appreciate it. As I've said, I know you're incredibly busy and I hope to see you soon. Take care.